In this lesson, we're going to start by using a formula to demonstrate the potential power of Excel, but also how powerful features like formulas can become useless if we don't cleanse our data first. We'll then continue roasting our 2016 worksheet. We can be pretty sure here in this example that Disney, Walt Disney Pictures, Walt Disney and Disney Pictures all mean the same thing. Yet because they're not typed the same, Excel won't be able to group them together, and that's going to be a pain for us. I'm just about to enter a formula in cell H5 which should count how many times we see the term Walt Disney Pictures in the range C5 to C14. So if I hit enter on that, it will say 2. Now we know from what we talked about a second ago that we'd expect that value to show as 5. So to achieve that, we're going to have to make sure that all of the values match. I've now changed 2 of the other values so that they say Walt Disney Pictures, and you can see that the number here has gone up to 4. We've got 1 remaining, which I've highlighted in red text, and I'm going to change that to Walt Disney Pictures as well. And you'll see that the formula immediately updates automatically to number 5. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of a future insight as to the power that Excel has. However, hopefully it also shows you some of the pitfalls you could fall into through getting your data wrong in the first place. And that's why I'm going to elaborate so much on it as an important thing at the start. The word movie seems a little redundant in the studio heading. We haven't used the word movie in front of title, movie title, and we haven't used the word movie in front of worldwide gross. So why have we got it in movie studio? Again, it's just inconsistent, so let's remove it. Double click somewhere in the cell or highlight the word movie and then just press backspace and enter. The final column looks to me as if it's been added as a bit of an afterthought. It's missing a heading and all of the data is in different sorts of formats, including numbers, times, and some text formats. We can probably assume that this is the duration of a movie in this instance, but imagine it wasn't so obvious and you found this in a different data set in your job. You delete it, you keep it there and ignore it, or include it without truly knowing what it is. Hopefully you see my point, all for the sake of a missing heading. Just lazy not to add one, so just add one. Always. Continuing with the theme of general sloppiness, why are there 3 blank rows at the top? These ones here. I've seen this so many times and I've often wondered why, so I've started asking people. The answer I nearly always get is that it's left spare for if they wanted to add something later. This just seems crazy to me for 2 main reasons. If you're going to leave some spare rows, why leave 3 rows? Why not 10? Why not 100? If you don't know what you'll need them for, or even if you'll need them at all, how do you know how much space you'll need? You wouldn't buy a bigger shirt than you needed just in case you were going to put on a few pounds, would you? Secondly, it's not like we can't make changes in Excel once we've built something, and it's pretty easy to add a row in Excel, watch. You just right click anywhere on the row, click insert, and it'll add a row. If you want to add 3 rows, you highlight 3 rows, right click, click insert, and it'll add 3 rows. Equally, if you want to delete all of them, highlight them all, right click, and delete. We can add spare rows later. You'll notice that I've also deleted column 1 because that was blank and completely unneeded. In summary, my advice to you would be to design the layout to fit your current design and not one that you may or may not come up with in the future. Start at the top left unless you have any specific reason to use that area for something else. I could go on, there's loads more we could go at on this particular tab, but let's move on to the 2017 tab, which you'll see I've unhidden. The first impressions of the 2017 tab are that it looks a lot better than the 2016 one did before we amended it. However, there's still a lot of problems. As a starting point, someone's got pretty creative with the font and used something which looks absolutely ridiculous. So let's change that. To do it, just select all of the text in that area that you're using and then just pick something more sensible like Calibri. It looks much more professional for the type of data that we're using. The first noticeable improvement is that there's some borders around the text, which helps to separate the columns and the rows. Now, I wouldn't actually promote borders as a way to do that, but compared to 2016 tab, where it's really difficult to see the data and how it separates between columns and rows, 2017 is definitely a marked improvement for that. I've just clicked back to the 2016 tab because I'm going to very quickly show you how to use borders. So the simplest way is to highlight the area that you're using and then use this option at the top here, and then you can click all borders, which will put a border across everything in black. There's loads of custom options for borders to do different colors and just do borders on some cells and some columns and rows, but not others. But as a simple way of just separating your data up, that's a quick and dirty way of doing it. In the next lesson, we'll move on to the 2017 tab and consider how it's improved from the 2016 one, but how it still leaves plenty of room for improvement.